I'm making something at the moment, actually. I've been building a giant. I love neon signs. I love neon signs. They're the coolest things in the world. I'm such a fan. I love neon tubes. I do want to at some stage go and learn how to sort of blow the glass to create your own neon signs. I think that would be such an awesome skill to have. Um, until I learned how to do that, I saw a neon sign that gave me some inspiration. The neon sign that I saw, and I use the word neon just because that explains what it is. But it was called the Q Rooftop Bar in Melbourne, I think is the name of it. The sign, damn, what was the name of it? Uh, Q Bar. What is the name of that place? It's called the Q in Melbourne. When I was in Melbourne last. I was there. It was a giant sign, Q at Loft, Q Melbourne Bar. What's the name of that bar? Anyway, I saw a neon sign that just looked great, but it was actually just an LED backlit sign, but it was made using handwriting. It looked like legit, like real handwriting that someone had just written out. So I was like, I'm gonna try and create my own. Let me just find it. I'm gonna find this for us. I'm gonna find it. It's definitely called Q Rooftop at QT. Rooftop at QT is what it is. It's a bar in Melbourne, and they have this just wild neon sign at the beginning, and it looks like this. It's handwritten. It's got like it's a handwritten typeface that has like spikiness to it. Really, really, really cool. And so I'm getting married in August, and so have been making a neon sign similar. What you're seeing on screen is it divided up. Like when you go to cut perspex, you want to use as much space, and so I don't need to create this all as one piece. So Kyle is one part, and is one part, Gray is another part, and yeah, we've got some. I really like this sort of. It's wide at the top on the K, going down into a spike. I'm gonna go. This is sort of. I think it's about 96 inches wide. I bought some aluminium from China that just came through, and this is siding. This is when you see like neon signs, they'll have the sort of the acrylic top plate which the light shines through. That's the front, and then you often have exactly the same. Whether it's the same plastic or different is kind of irrelevant, but that on the back, and then a spacer, and this is kind of what it is. Now, the thing that I found really interesting about this piece of aluminium is that there's a piece of foam that goes down as well to help set it in place, and then you've got sort of this lip that the plastic locks into. So that goes around the edges. So if you can imagine this Kyle and Grey, that's going to be frosted perspex on the front. The side, which it'll be glued to, is then that aluminium, and then there will be a backing to it. And I'm using these LED modules. I went through all different types of modules trying to work out what is going to be the brightest, most effective way of lighting this thing. I tried this neon flex. I'll plug this in and show you. But this module is just so bright. Have a look at this. Plug that in. That's epic. Now, it doesn't come across on camera, of course, but you can tell by the fact that it's blinding on my fingers bright red. This is a very, 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 it's high intensity modules. So they're going to be inside of it. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to, it's going to be rad. Well, I hope it is. I hope it's going to be rad. I think it will be. I think it'll look really cool. So I'm off to, I'm going to go laser cut that tomorrow. That'll be great. There's the hackerspace that I'm a member at, Crash Space, has an epilogue, but I think the bed's only like 24 by 24 inches or somewhere around there. It's not a huge laser cutter. If you're wondering what laser cutters look like as well, if you've never seen a laser cutter, it's like a laser cutter epilogue. It's like a printer. I mean, it looks like one of those large format printers, actually. Epilogue. Here we go. So these are the different types. I mean, you know, that kind of looks like a large format printer, but you put your material in the top of it, and then a laser moves along, and like that. And depending on what intensity you set the laser to, you can either engrave or you can do full cuts. You can absolutely cut all the way through. Really, really awesome. But the size of the bed dictates like how big you can make the cut. And so going off to a different place called I Love Lucite. Yes, I Love Lucite in Culver City to use the laser cutter. Steve is going to help me because he's a legend. Thank you, sir. So going to head there tomorrow. One of the things you may have seen in that, you will have noticed that, yes, you don't actually use these bold. I'm just showing you here so that you can see what the file looks like. That's not the file that you actually send to the printer. You create outlines, and then depending on the setting of the printer, you'll either set that if the line is color red, then that means use 100% intensity, or if the line's green, or there's different ways to set it. You can set it to like thickness, but it'll do the line. So if you just want to engrave, you can set it to engrave and so on. So each one's different. Oh, and the other one, we're gonna make a neon sign to put in the background here. This one will be different. This is going to be a large piece of Perspex with robot time machine cut out, and then I'm going to feed this neon, this LED rope light. Well, it's actually called Neon Flex. I'm going to show you, if you haven't seen this stuff, it's ultra expensive. This stuff is ultra expensive in the US. But when I was in Shenzhen last, I bought so much of it. Oh, I bought so much of it because it was so much cheaper. So this is it. It glows on the top side, and it's completely flexible. There's two different types. There's a silicon version, and I guess it was a PVA version or something like that. The silicon, a little more expensive, much more flexible. Let's have a look at what's inside. It's a flexible circuit board. I'll cut this one open, and then we can have a look inside. So you can strip it. Oh no, I'm gonna need scissors. Here we go. Slicing it down the side, so it glows out the front, and then we've sliced it, and inside is a circuit board with LEDs on it. And just a resistor per, looks like a resistor per 2 or 3 LEDs. There we go. Just a flexible circuit board. And this is almost like when you buy 50/50 or different types of LED. I'm trying to get that in focus. The manual focus. Look at that. I don't have knuckles anymore. It's an entirely different story as to why I don't have them, but my knuckles completely, over the course of years, I unfortunately scratched them off. Those little LEDs there, they're pretty bright. They're actually, yeah, they're really bright. So I'm going to use that. I've got all different colors, but going to make a neon sign that goes into the background. I reckon by, it'll probably still be like another week or two before that's up and running, but going to go, hopefully we'll laser cut it tomorrow and then start assembly. And then if it works out, we'll make one for the side of the desk as well. Because I've been doing a whole bunch of updates and different updates to the desk.